gang, it's Jeff Black here again from Beechmont Ford Performance, out here in the garage for another episode of Garage Table Discussion. Now you're wondering, hey, why is he wearing the gloves and hat? Is it already cold there? No, not really, and it never gets that cold out here in the garage anyway. I keep the heat on, but today we are going to talk about that one dreaded word that every car enthusiast really just hates, and that is winter. We all hate winter because we've got to get the cars put away for the winter months. Now, if you're lucky enough to live in the warmer climates where you can keep your car out year-round, God bless you. On second thought, I hate you. Not really. But if you do live in the areas where you have to put your car away for the winter, today we have 6 tips on what to do to get your car ready. Now you may do more, you may do less. These are just 6 of the basic things that I think you need to do to get your car ready. So let's get right into it. Let's go. So one of the first things that most of us are going to do when we're getting our car ready for the winter months is clean it. I've got some samples out here, some of the products that I use. You may use different products, but the idea is you're going to want to get your car cleaned up, spiffed up, vacuumed, so you can sit out here in the garage all winter and look at it and wish for spring. Now, I use, for example, Chemical Guys foam cannon. I've got their Honeydew shampoo. I do use a CR spotless water system for deionized water. So I've got some microfiber towels, my mitt, tools, tire shine, glass cleaner. I also use white diamond metal polish for my exhaust tips. Just get your car nice, clean, spiffed up, and ready to go for the winter months. Now, the one thing that I have gotten away from using that I traditionally always done is a car cover. I was finally convinced by my friend Jason Carithers, who owns Carsmetics, which is one of the top, if not the top, detailing and ceramic pro installation places here in the greater Cincinnati area. What he convinced me of is that a car cover, no matter what you might think, is constantly rubbing against your paint, and it can definitely damage your paint over time. So the other thing that I've kind of found out by not having the car cover on is in our area, again, throughout the winter months, there are definitely some stretches here and there where we might get some weather where I want to get the car out and take a quick cruise. If I walk out here in the garage and the car cover's on, I can be a little lazy and I go, it's more trouble than it's worth. But if I walk out here and the car's sitting here with no cover on, it's a lot easier to just jump in this thing and go for a quick ride. All right, so there you go. One of the other things you're going to want to do, get your car cleaned up, spiffed up, and vacuumed for the winter months. So let's talk about oil. I know a lot of people like to do an oil change going into winter. Now, me personally, I go the other direction, and I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong, but my thought process is I change the oil at the beginning of every spring. Again, my car is a summer-only car, and I figure why let oil sit in that engine all winter and having the viscosity start to break down and so forth. I'll just start with a fresh oil change at the beginning of spring. So that's my thought process. Let me know what you guys do. And of course, as always, make sure you're putting in the oil that is recommended for your car. So let's talk about fuel. So coming into the winter months, I always like to put a fresh tank of 93 octane in the White Knight. And the other thing you're going to want to consider is putting some fuel stabilizer in the tank. Now on the more modern Fords, you're going to find that you have your capless easy fuel setup here. And to get your stabilizer in there, you're going to need this nice little funnel that is provided with your car. You're going to simply slide it right on down in there, and as simple as that, you can put your stabilizer in. The other thing it's great for is if you were to ever run out of gas and you needed to fill the tank with a traditional gas can, that's how you're going to be able to do it. So one of the things that's recommended for winter storage is a battery charger. Some people will call it a battery tender, or better known as a trickle charger. Well, so what this charger is doing is constantly recharging your battery as the car is sitting over the winter months. Now my setup, I've already got permanent connections to the positive and negative side of the battery underneath the battery cover here. And then I've got this coupler right here that I simply unplug the plug that is sealed for the summer months, and take the cord and simply plug it right in. Voila, simple as that. You may find there's a lot of options out there for a trickle charger. You can spend quite a bit of money on one. I personally have gotten by fine with this basic Stanley one. I think I've used this for 3-4 years. I don't really remember how much it was, but in the scheme of things, it's probably a lower end option. You can even buy a really inexpensive one at Harbor Freight, and I actually used one of those for a year or two, and it actually worked fine. But that's going to be your individual decision on what you think you need. So another thing you might want to consider when storing your car over the winter months is if you have a soft rubber compound tire like these Michelin Cup 2s, you can end up with what's called flat spots on the tire. If this car sits all winter in that one spot, just basically picture that tire gets a flat spot on it. Come spring, summer, you get it out to drive it, and you might hear this bump, 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 bump. You know, you got a flat spot in your tire. You're going to have to probably buy new tires. So there are several ways you could try to avoid that. Now, this may not be the most perfect solution here, but it tends to work for me because, for one thing, in the greater Cincinnati area here where I live, we don't really get what I would consider extremely bad winters most of the time. So even through the month of December, a lot of times there might be good days where I might go ahead and get the car out. So what I like about these is that they're quick to get right back out. I have the Steeda jacking rails on the car, put the floor jack on this side, jack it up. I can take both of these off the tires real quick, go around to the other side. So these simply slide under there. The tire comes down and fits into this well. These are pretty inexpensive options. They make a more expensive option, has like a hydraulic lift on it. You hit with your foot and it collapses and lifts the tire off of the ground. Race Ramps makes basically a styrofoam block that you're going to jack up, put the wheel in, and it's got the shape of the wheel, and it just sits down in there. So there's several different options if you want to try to avoid flat spots for the winter. So the last thing I'm going to talk about today may very well be the most important thing that a car enthusiast will want to do for the winter months, and that is have one of these. A nice chair or a stool, because you're probably going to want to be sitting here doing this throughout the winter as you think about the things you're going to want to do come springtime. What can I do to this thing? Well, there you have it, guys. My quick 6, hey, that's actually pretty good. My quick 6 tips on how to get your car ready for winter. All right, and like I said, you may do more, you may do less, but these tips here, right, I just think those are some of the basic things you need to do. All right, that's it for today's episode. I want to thank you, as always, for watching Garage Table Discussions, and I appreciate you guys with all my heart, and I hope you enjoy these videos. We'll see you again in 2 weeks for the next episode, and don't forget, if you can, comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you do or you don't do with your car. All right, we will see you soon. Have a great week. God bless you.